Hello, I'm Shukla Choudhury and welcome to my online class. Today we're going to discuss a famous drama, The Tempest, written by the great dramatist Sir William Shakespeare. The Tempest is set on a remote island where the sorcerer Prospero plots to restore his daughter her rightful position through illusion and skillful manipulation. He conjures up a storm, the eponymous Tempest, and lures his jealous brother Antonio and the complicit King Alonso of Naples to that island, and there, through his machinations, he brings about the lowly nature of Antonio, the redemption of the King Alonso, and the marriage of his daughter Miranda to the son of King of Alonso, Ferdinand. Prospero is the major character of this drama, The Tempest. He is a learned man, an experienced man, a great magician, and the rightful Duke of Milan. Unfortunately, he has been stranded in a remote island for 12 years with his daughter Miranda. After his jealous brother Antonio usurped his dukedom and set him adrift in a wretched boat, Antonio was aided by King Alonso of Naples. Fortunately, the whole affair was under the responsibility of a kind counselor of King Alonso, whose name was Gonzalo. And Gonzalo secretly supplied the wretched boat with some foodstuff, some drinking water, linen, essential stuffs, and volumes of books which Prospero treasured more than his life. Thus, Prospero was saved by the grace of God. Then he reached this remote island where, because of his magical power, he could control all the spirits of the island, and life was not so tough after all. Among all the spirits that he could control or he controlled in the island, his favorite was Ariel, whom he saved from the trunk of a pine tree where he was trapped by a wicked witch Sycorax, because Ariel refused to obey Sycorax. Now, this Sycorax was actually exiled from Algiers to this island because her black magic was causing havoc in that island. And Sycorax came here, controlled all the spirits, and Ariel, somehow being very young, disobeyed Sycorax, and that was the curse Ariel had to face. However, when Prospero reached this island, Sycorax was already dead. So Prospero saved Ariel from the trunk of the pine tree where he was trapped, and he adopted the son of Sycorax, Caliban, who was half demon and half human. However, he was the only non-spirit in that island. He adopted Caliban and taught him his language, his religion. But being wicked by nature, Caliban somehow developed a wicked feeling against Prospero and Miranda. Though when he was very young, Caliban helped Prospero by showing him all the secrets of the islands, which again helped Prospero. But negative feelings, they always propagate negative feelings. So when Caliban started to have these wicked feelings against Prospero and Miranda also started having a feeling of resentment against Caliban, but they were helpless in that island because they needed a servant, and Caliban was just that. life went on. But because of his knowledge and divine knowledge, one day Prospero could sense that his wicked brother Antonio was passing in a nearby ship along with his friend and fellow conspirator King Alonso of Naples, his brother Sebastian, his son Ferdinand, and his counselor Gonzalo, and some other royals. Due to his magical power, now Prospero sets about with his plot. He, along with his spirits, made the passengers of the ship feel that they were shipwrecked and they were marooned in an island, and slowly in different small groups with the help of his spirits, he brought all of them to that island. Through his magical powers, he managed to separate Ferdinand from his father, King Alonso of Naples. Now, the drama separates into three different alternate plots. Number one, where Caliban teams up with Trinculo and Stefano to raise a coup against Prospero because he disliked Prospero and he thought Stefano to be someone who is from heaven because he had the luck of having the celestial liquor from Stefano. However, this plot fails and they were chased off stage by goblins. The second plot is between the love affair between Miranda and Ferdinand, the son of King Alonso. Though both of them fell in love with each other at first sight, but Prospero wanted to make it sure that their love was a true love because that was undoubtedly one of his first and foremost important aspect of the plot. He wanted both of them to fall in love. He wanted them to get married, but he also wanted to ensure that the love was true love because he believed that two light winning make the prize light. So he charged Ferdinand that he was a spy who came there to usurp the island, and naturally he overburdened him with tough servant-like jobs, and he made life very, very tough for Ferdinand and Miranda, and he wanted to do all this because he wanted to test whether, in spite of all these tough situations, their love remains strong or not. Ultimately, Ferdinand and Miranda won. Prospero told everything, why he did all these things to Ferdinand and Miranda, and betrothed Miranda to Ferdinand. This was his mission accomplished. And with that, we come to the end of that second plot where the marriage of Miranda and Ferdinand was almost fixed. The third plot is again a plot of conspiracy where Prospero's brother Antonio, which is almost the all-time dark character Shakespeare has ever created, plots with Sebastian to oust and to kill and to murder King Alonso and Gonzalo so that Sebastian could become the king of Naples. However, this was thwarted again by Prospero and Ariel. Ariel appears as Harpy and reprimand them, all the three men of sin, in a very harsh words for the way they treated Prospero and the way they were again trying to do the conspiracy once again. For all this, they were reprimanded by Ariel, and the three men of sin, they leave the stage and frenzy. Others follow. Now the major part of this drama is Prospero and his magics. But The only magical feat that Prospero performs in this whole drama is the one when he controls Ferdinand and brings his limbs back to his infancy. Most of his other magical powers were restricted to controlling the different spirits, but then that was perhaps magic was at that point of time. The story draws heavily on the tradition of the romance, and it was influenced by tragic comedy, the courtly masque and perhaps the commedia dell'arte. It differs from Shakespeare's other plays in its observation of a stricter, more organized neoclassical style. Critics see The Tempest as explicitly concerned with its own nature as a play, frequently drawing links between Prospero's art and theatrical illusion. And early critics saw Prospero as a representation of Shakespeare, and his renunciation of magic as signaling Shakespeare's farewell to the stage. The play portrays Prospero as irrational and not an oculist magician by providing a contrast to him in Sycorax. Her magic is frequently described as destructive and terrible, whereas Prospero's is said to be wondrous and beautiful. Beginning in about 1950 with the publication of Psychology of Colonization by Octave Manoni, The Tempest was viewed more and more through the lens of post-colonial theory, exemplified in adaptations like Ain Caesar Sune, Tempest set in Haiti, and there is even a scholarly journal on post-colonial criticism named after Caliban. As the drama draws towards its end, it slowly moves towards a happy ending, with Miranda and Ferdinand happily betrothed to each other, and the Ceres, Iris, and Juno, all the spirits blessing them. Prospero's idea behind The Tempest and the whole drama was again almost fulfilled. Now, having everything under his control, he could have done whatever he wanted to all those three men of sin who spoiled his life, but he decides to forgive. In conclusion, he calls all the three men he have now them under his power, but then he forgives them. Instead, he directs Ariel to create a beautiful favorable weather so that all the three men along with Ferdinand, Miranda and everyone, they could reach their ship and then they could join their royal fleet and then they could sail to Naples where Miranda and Ferdinand were to get married. Even Caliban was forgiven for his coup against Prospero. Caliban was ordered to rearrange the cells so that the guest could take rest and he could tell them his adventure of 12 years. Then he turns towards his magical books and his magic and shuns them all. In his epilogue towards the audience, he shuns his magical powers, perhaps because anything unnatural is not good. So he asked his audience to give him a leaf from that remote island and from his magical power also. And now I too ask your permission to leave. See you till we come again with a masterpiece. Thank you.